It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS. Dan Freeze asked a good question in here. He says, can you give a specific example of how you changed your marketing or messaging based on knowing what your customer really wants? So
Yeah.
when you figured that out, how did that messaging and communication
I'll
change?
give you an example today. Again, in my group today, we were actually going through this exact thing. And I'll see if I can remember exactly the language that we used. But here's the framework. So let's take communication. Let's take Dan's communication example. All right. In the marketing, we would talk about solid communication. Now, in your case, Dan, why do your clients care about solid communication?
Because they don't understand bookkeeping and accounting that much. And
Okay.
so they feel like if they're left in the dark, I think I probably need to ask them this, but my assumption is when they don't hear from their accountant for a while, they're left in the dark on something they don't know, but they know is super, super important, and it scares the shit out of them.
Yeah. So in this case, like the guy who asked, was his name Dan also?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Dan has a 15 or 16-year-old kid, maybe the first time you tell them that they can stay out till 11 o'clock at night, but don't you dare be late, right? And then it's 11:07 and you're sitting on the couch waiting for your 15 or 16-year-old kid to come home. Does your brain go to, they probably stopped to do some charity work. They're probably helping somebody who had a flat tire. Like something good's probably happening. No. In the absence of information, our brain goes to very dark and dangerous places. We assume
that's
the worst,
a funny way to put it.
Right?
Stop to do some charity work.
So in your case, Dan, you're explaining how communication keeps them from feeling in the dark. And the reason they don't want to feel in the dark is because what?
Yeah, when you're in the dark, to exactly what you said, like you're painting the worst picture possible.
Yeah, you want peace of mind, right? It provides peace of mind, right?
Yep.
So in your case, I would say something in your marketing like we have weekly communication so you can have peace of mind and not worry about what's going on, right? It's that so you can, or so you don't, or so you don't have to. That's the pieces we have to connect. Dan, who's asking the question, is what is this kick-ass thing you do and what's the benefit for them, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to remember the examples from today. On the spot, I probably won't be able to remember all of them. Or any of them actually, but we had some really good ones. We asked the one guy, he does like low voltage stuff,
like lighting stuff.
It could be like things like installing Wi-Fi systems for people's homes and connecting their phone to their lights and stuff like that to, whatever. His thing was proactivity, and for him, he's like, okay, well, I have 2 clients, which I wouldn't recommend people start with. I always recommend you start with 1, but he's a little more advanced. So he's got 2 clients. He's got the kind of 60-year-old who technology is kind of a bastard and a hassle. And he's got the 30-year-old who technology is like kick-ass and whatever. Mm-hmm. He's proactive. In either case, the proactivity brings a benefit to the client. So let's take the 63-year-old. Okay, the 63-year-old doesn't want to go out and do all the research. They don't want to have to go out and figure out what's out there. Like, here's my problem. I want you to solve it. So in his case, he's proactive, so they don't have to do the research, and they can have peace of mind. They're making a good decision. He's proactive in bringing things to them that they wouldn't know even exist.
Yep. Right.
So they can not have to do the due diligence themselves or research, or even go spend however many hours at Best Buy, trying to figure out what are the options out there, or on Amazon, or they don't want to do that stuff. They got lives, So he's proactive and he takes all that burden on so they don't have to. That's kind of, that's a very simplified version. So in all of our marketing, we want to say, we kick ass at this underlying thing that you're worried about that you would never talk about. Like, can I trust you around my 16-year-old daughter when you come to my house? Or if you're working in the master bathroom, can I trust you not go through my underwear drawer if I'm a 35-year-old woman, for example? Background checks. We do background checks so you can have peace of mind with our people in your house. It's that we do this that addresses this underlying issue, concern, problem you have that has nothing to do with the service we provide. So you can, so you will, so you don't have to, ... Right?